You're live. I'm confused. It says that we're live. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. It says that we're live. Wait, it just went live right now? You guys haven't heard me talking for the last 7 minutes? You gotta be kidding me. I've been talking. RS says yes. So you guys haven't heard everything I've said for the last 7 minutes about what we're doing and all of that. Awesome. I hit go live and I changed the tab, and it seems like because I changed the tab, it didn't update. I've been talking to everyone. I talked about the weather. I said hello to everyone. I talked about what we're doing today. I was showing things. Oh my God. All right. Let's start over. So I started off the stream by thanking our for Hasio for renewing his membership. So let's redo that. You guys probably heard the sound effects then. Maybe, I don't know. That's hilarious. I said hello to everybody, so I'm gonna do that again. Hey Armor, hey Clown, hey Andre, hey PF, hey Jose, hey Lisa, hey Hobo, hey Lord, hey Petty, hey Kyber, hey Skydown, hey Brian, hey, I think I just said Delmar, we're saying Delmar again. That's hilarious. Yeah, so someone said hello from cold New York, and I said that the weather is kind of nice today. It's like 43 and sunny, but there's no wind, so it actually feels quite nice. I talked about the door. I talked so much in the last 7 minutes. Unreal. I talked about the door on Velta. I said that we basically finished this up. I just need to put the side panels on, and really what's left is just the tuning. There's a lot of tuning that needs to happen, and just refinement, but from a build standpoint, the build itself is done. And then I mentioned that we are going to be building. God, I can't believe it's so weird. It's so weird that I did this whole. It feels weird repeating myself since I just said it like 2 minutes ago. Okay, so I said that today we're going to be building the Cyclops Extruder, which is a drop-in extruder. Drop-in. It does require a slight modification of the back part of the tool head, a slight little cut, but basically a drop-in that is created by Devil Design and uses the internals of the orbiter. So the main difference is the external housing of it. And I already did a full video on this on the main channel. So if you're wondering why we're building one or why we're covering this, an awesome community member who purchased one of these months back has been having difficulty getting it to work. And I know that this person has printed out different parts, has tried disassembling, reassembling, has gone into their forums. Hunter the Great, thank you so much for the donation. I'll do Hadouken and hello, it's been a while, but I can't stay long. No worries. Well, I appreciate you popping in and saying hello. Hey, Tor. Hey, Dean. So, yes, they've been trying to get this thing working, and they've gone in the forums, and it's just not, for some reason, working. So, they reached out to me and said, hey, is there any way I could send you my extruder and see if you can get it working? And so I thought, sure, let's just do a stream out of it. So, I printed out all the parts. I've got their extruder here, so we're going to be disassembling it, assembling the new one with the printed parts I have, dropping it into my printer, which I know is working with this tool or this extruder, and that should hopefully help us determine whether it was just something with the build or whether there's actually an issue with the gears or, you know, some part of the actual internals of this extruder. I talked so much more about things. For anyone interested in finding out more, oh man, I think my voice just cracked. So for anyone interested in finding out more, they're basically out of stock at the only resellers, which was PD3D in the United States. And then there's also another vendor out of Australia, which was further down, I want to say Dremc store. But I think they're out of stock. Yeah, they're out of stock everywhere. So, and this is Australian dollars, so it's not quite that much. It's $52.99 for the full thing. So, for anyone that is interested in finding out more, I recommend just hopping in their Discord and saying, hey, is there any update on when these are going to be back in stock? Because I have no idea. It's been like 3 or 4 months probably since I got mine, and I don't know what the latest update is. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you guys the K1 and kind of where it's currently at, and then we'll move this out of the way and we'll get to disassembling and assembling. So, Yes, that is going on. What's up, R3D? Hey, Hobo. Hey, TJ. Yeah, YouTube did some weird stuff. It's funny. So I ended the countdown early and went live right on time. I was all excited, talked for like 7 minutes, and then I saw Elisa say like, "Where's our fearless leader?" And I'm like, "Is that me?" And then I was like, "Hello, can you guys not hear me?" And I went back to the live streaming page, and it looked like it said you're live, but it was still kind of rendering, and I had 0 drop frames, so I couldn't figure it out. But it looks like it never fully switched to you're live, so that's why we're doing this twice, and things are a little more squirrely than normal for this early in the stream. But basically, this is my K1 Max. The main thing that's not stock on it is the tool head. I also have springs in here. I had some serious issues with leveling on this early on, and the bed was just really tweaked, and I tried Creality's way of correcting it. It did not work. So I went with yellow springs, which I had some concerns. People had concerns about like, oh, is that going to affect the load cells in the bed? It didn't have any issue for me. It basically let me get the bed as flat as possible, and then it's still able to compensate. But for the tool head, it's running the Devil Design Devil Burner. We built this on stream, man, it was before we moved, so a year and a half ago maybe, which is basically a cosmetic mod. It just looks really cool. It's a little lighter. It has a nice LED, and then it's using the BQ, what is this screen called? It's the V2 of it, Nomi, K-N-O-M-I. And this is the touchscreen version, so I was able to install a custom animation to match it all, and then it is touchscreen, so you can do like home and auto bed level and heat up things from here. But really, it's more of a cosmetic mod than everything. But I guess if you have a headless printer and you have this, it could let you do some control from it. But and it's also got the microsys flow tack, and then it's got that extruder, which is going to be a little bit difficult for you to see, but you can kind of see the kind of the ear of the Cyclops right there. So that's what's going on here. Is there a recommended way to print all the parts for the ERCF that will help keep them organized? I don't know. It's been a long time since I printed out the ERCF parts, and at the time I just threw them all in a large gallon Ziploc bag, so I don't know if there's a better way. Does this extruder apply to other printers or just the K1? So I would say that because of the mounting, it's primarily for the K1 series. Like, that's what it's intended for. Devil Design really came up making mods for the K1 printers, but they have since expanded. Like, they've got some really awesome motors called Kraken that are nice high-powered motors that have built-in thermistors, which are, you know, obviously compatible with other printers. Let me move this out of the way. But I'll show you the mounting points for this. So because of the mounting points on this, so here's the one that was assembled. Oh, there he is, Peter. So hopefully it's okay, but Peter in chat is actually the one that sent this over. And so, yeah, the mounting points for this are on the sides, which is pretty unique. You could use it for a different tool head, but because the mounting points are intended for the K1, it's a little awkward, and it certainly wouldn't be just like a drop-in adaptation. And because it's so heavily based off the Orbiter, if it were me and I was wanting something similar, I would go with Orbiter if there's already, you know, because you've got the easier mounting points for it. So, but yeah, this is what he sent over. The only things I've done so far is I did pull out the, this is the sort of filament path that gets threaded into the plastic. One of the concerns he had was that it seemed like tolerances might have been off on this, and there was quite a bit of friction with the filament. And I did grab some, I'll just snap off a piece right now. Give me 1 second here. Get my flush cutters. I did snap off a piece. Well, no, I didn't snap off. I just, 1 second here. Oh, filament. Let's get one that doesn't have a rough surface. Oh, this one, that's fine, because this will actually let me see how it slides. So this is just a piece of, I believe it's 1.75, but there is, so this has teeth marks on it from the extruder it was removed from, but I don't think that the issue is, like, it slides back and forth still really easily, so I don't think it's a tolerance issue. Generally speaking, like, if this wasn't a metal insert and it was a PTFE tube, you would have it pretty tight for a Bowden setup. Like, you wouldn't have the reverse Bowden inner diameter, you'd have the standard Bowden inner diameter, which is quite tight. So I think this is not an issue. What I don't have is mine pulled out to be able to compare how mine feels, but I don't think this is the issue. So we're gonna go ahead and disassemble this, but this is basically how the full thing looks here. So we'll go ahead and remove, and this was in collaboration with LDO. So LDO is at least providing the motors. I think that the extruder gears are from Triangle Labs, if I'm not mistaken. So I just realized it's going to be interesting getting out the pin from this. So let's go ahead and undo the screws really quick here. Where are all of, there we go, my drivers. Off topic, but if you were doing your switch wire all over, would you do the same clicky mod, or would you do the one on the X gantry? I would do the one on the X gantry. I haven't had any issues with mine, but, oh, okay, here's the reason why. So with my switch wire, so for anyone that doesn't remember and hasn't been watching, it's been years now, on my switch wire, I had a lot of issues with the inductive probe. It just was super inconsistent, especially when I enclosed it and tried with ABS. Like, it was just not, it was like retrying over and over again, and it was just really inconsistent. So I installed Clicky, but there wasn't an official Clicky variant for switch wire at the time, so I went with a community mod. And the community mod uses a servo because on a bed slinger, you can't get the tool head off of the work area to park it. So it basically uses a servo that flicks an arm out, and that's where it parks it, and then it flicks its arm back in. The issue with the one I did is because it's not on the X carriage, you have to have a secondary Z limit switch. So it has to basically home to the bottom, hit the physical switch and say, hey, I'm at home, and then it can go over. While if you have the official one that's launched, it's on the X carriage, and it still uses a servo, but it's able to basically deploy the servo, grab that, and then home with that. So it makes it where you don't have to have two Z things. Like, you don't have to have a Z switch and a probe. Your probe becomes your Z switch. So if I was doing it over again, I would absolutely do the one on the X carriage to not have to do the two, because it's always kind of confusing with Clipper when you're saving your Z offset. Like, do you save it to the probe? Do you save it to the Z end stop? I've at least screwed it up plenty of times. So yeah, going back, if it was available, I would definitely opt for the X carriage version of it. So yep. Hey Griffin, small hex drive works great to push the pins out. Okay, I will try that. Let's get this out first. We'll try to reuse as much of the hardware here. I mean, all of it ideally, so that way we can get as close to true of an experience. There are some differences with this extruder, like they've changed up some things. So so the motor itself is looking fine. It's what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 tooth. So it's a 10 tooth motor. Yeah, it spins fine. And it's an LDO 1.8 degree, 36 millimeter pancake. And the model number is LDO. I'll show it too, so you guys can see it, but there we go. LDO 36 STH20 is what this is. So, but yeah, motor itself, I mean, initially it looks fine. I know that doesn't mean much, but it at least spins smoothly, and I don't see any issues with the actual gear that's on here. So that's a good thing. Then we've got our screws. We've got our housing, which does look like it's had adequate grease. I will probably use a paper towel to remove quite a bit of the grease and just add a little bit more of my own grease. I'm just trying to see if any of the teeth look like there's issues with it. It doesn't, nothing stands out as like a broken tooth or anything like that. So my hands are gonna get greasy. It is what it is. So we've got our, I'll probably check these two to make sure that, well, I can just check them like this to make sure they're spinning freely, and they are. So this seems, yeah, those all seem fine. Let me move you guys out a little bit here. I'm going to be printing those parts out. Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I've been tempted to update mine to have that. I don't like having two Z switches, but it just kind of is the way that it worked out. Okay, so now I need to remove the set screw from the toothed pulley, which is probably a 2 millimeter driver. It might be 1.5. Peter, if you're here, did you use Loctite on this? Am I gonna have, I don't want to strip this. Okay, it's not a 2 mil, it's 1.5. I'll end up using Loctite, but I won't use, please don't strip. No, it went out, it came out. Feels like you might have used some Loctite, but nothing too crazy as far as, oh, there's already Loctite. Okay, yeah, there's already blue Loctite on this, so I'll still add a little bit of mine just because after using it once now, I'm not convinced it'll hold quite as well. But it looks like there was already some Loctite on it. Can I push this out? Yep, should be able to push that out. This is pretty stuck. There we go. Wow, that bearing, I don't like how stuck that bearing is. Okay, so we'll see on that. That bearing seems pretty stuck on here. Let's build an ENG dual stream. We could probably plan something out, man. The streams for this year are quickly getting filled up. Like, I've got, me and Steve are planning one. I've got Box Turtle coming in. 56 sending a massive printer, and then I just sent over an email agreeing to another pretty big build as well. So if we're gonna do something, we should probably plan it out, because I think I'm already probably 4 or 5 months into this year. I might have to break. It's really stuck. Let me do this on the edge of this so I can just push it out completely. You're not an idiot. Dude, the amount of issues I run into on stream, we're all just figuring it out, man. And again, there could be, the one thing I'm seeing right now is this bearing on here is really stuck, and that could be causing some pressure. I'm going to attempt to remove it. I'm hoping I don't break it in the process, but I don't remember mine being that tight. If I remember correctly, mine was a pretty loose fit, so I'm almost wondering if I should sand down that shaft a little bit. First, let's see if I can get this off successfully. I'm really hoping I can, but this is stuck on here pretty hard, which I don't recall mine having that. I almost want to watch my video to see, but we'll find out shortly here. So just trying to push this out and try my smaller driver. Ah, there we go, pins on the ground. All right, we got one of our pins out. Can I get this back out? All right, let's see. There we go. Okay, so now I should be able to lift this guy out. There we go. And then we've got one more pin. We're gonna swap everything just to rule out any, anything as being a potential issue. Okay, we've got you. We've got you. And then I think the last bits in here are just heat inserts. There's a bearing right here as well. Shouldn't be too bad to pop out. Let me use a big driver so that way I'm not applying force unevenly to it. I don't want to damage the bearing. Let's see. Hey, Poity's here. Hey, Steve's here. Steve is here. Howdy. 32 freaking months, man. Absolutely nuts. I just told everyone that we're working on a stream, man. I haven't given the deets, but there we go. Bearings out. Okay, so I'm hoping that these heat inserts are just standard Voron size. They look like they are Voron spec. A few things. So, oh God. Okay, this is your arm. So these are the parts you had. I'm gonna move these out of the way. A couple of things. So I printed out, okay, these are all your parts. Let's put these off to the side. I don't wanna mix anything up here. So they have made some changes, and I've printed out a couple variants of the body here. So the new one appears to have a slot here for one of those actual Bowden fittings. This is the style I was using, which is just pushing the Bowden tube in. You don't really need this, especially because this is just a reverse Bowden. I actually kind of like that the Bowden just kind of fit in loosely, so when I was loading in filament, I would just pull this off, load filament in, and push it through there. I'm going to attempt to install the threaded thing in the top of this piece that I printed out, and if it sits in nicely, great, we can move forward with it. If it doesn't, then I'm very likely just going to use the version similar to what I'm currently rocking. So I'm also going to ream out this top hole because it looks a little small. So 3 more months till 3 years. Oh, Delmar, 33 months. That's insane. Hadougan, I wonder what's for dinner.
I wonder what's for dinner.
And it's pizza time. Okay, so yes, let's start with getting a, because this almost looks like it would be tight. Yeah, that is too tight. So I can't get filament to pass through there. So that's clearly an issue. Let me try the other one. Or let me try actually the part I didn't snap off. Yeah, that's too tight. This one, so this one fits fine. So there's already an issue. This fits totally fine through here, which is like the style I went with. And this is the style that has that new opening. So I'm at the very least gonna ream it out. Yeah, I'm at the very least gonna ream that out and see. We do not want unnecessary friction. Do I even have a reamer that size? I might not. 3 millimeters might be the smallest I've got. Yeah, I don't actually have a reamer this size. What happens if I just shove this guy in here? I'm thinking, if you're okay with it, we might just go with the style that I've got that doesn't have that fitting. Because I don't like that. And I don't have I have a 3 millimeter reamer. Yeah, it's going in now, but it's still too tight. I would want to ream this out. So if you're fine with it, I want to say Pete, but I feel like Peter, I don't want to call you Pete if it's always Peter, but I think that we're going to go with the one similar to the style that I've got. I don't have it. I don't have the drill bit from the LDO kit. Let me know if you're okay with that. If not, I can run down and see if I've got a drill bit, but I don't think I do specifically, and I'd rather have no friction. Hey, Alien! Hey, BBs! Yeah, everything's going pretty dang good. I appreciate it. I think Jack's coming up for a visit already. You know what? This is kind of working itself in. Jack Attack? What's up, bud? Oh, I go 9-8? Okay, he's gonna take a nap, so he's gonna say, you can say goodnight to everybody? Yeah, okay. No! Come here, big dog. Ugh. Is that milk? You got milk? Can you show them your milk? Show them your milk. Say, this is my milk.
Hello.
They say lucky guy gets a nap. See, we all want naps, bud. One day you'll be older, not anytime soon, and you'll wish you could have naps. Naps are so nice, huh? Daddy loves naps. Daddy's building an extruder. Can you say good luck? Let's say good luck, Dada. You can go lay down with your Sharky. Yeah. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right, one other thing I can do is if I've just got a 2 millimeter Allen key, I can try to shove that through and see if that'll loosen it up a bit. This is too large. But yeah, I don't have a reamer. Let me check, make sure I've got the early visit from Jack today. He fought his morning nap. He actually went down for his morning nap, and then the doorbell rang. We have a pest guy that comes once quarterly, and okay, this is 2 mil. So I'm gonna shove this through and see if I can just get it through and spin it. Yeah, that worked. But we definitely don't want friction. So let's see, that looks a lot better. Yeah, okay, we can use this then. As long as I can get that thread on correctly. Jack is catching up to you, a couple more years. He's a tall kid, man. We've gone to the park a couple times, and I know the other day there was a girl there that was like 3 years old, and Jack was way taller. So yeah, this feels a lot better. So let's see if we can get this fitting on. It looks like it cracked. It looks like it cracked your part. I don't know if it cracked in shipping or not, but it definitely looks cracked. So let's see. That is a tight fit. I don't like that one bit. Let me check to see if I've got one just to make sure it's the same size. Let me see. I think I've got a few spare of those. Let's see, where would I have put you? That is the ultimate question. Not in there. Could you be in here? Oh, there's one. Okay, we'll try this. Mine has that stupid film stuff on the threads to make it harder to spin, but if this doesn't work, we're using the other one because I don't have this on mine. And there's been no issues. Yeah, it's a really tight fit, man. I'm pretty sure this is the beta. Is there a version number on here? I think this is the latest beta version. Yeah, the teeth are not catching as well as I'd like. Okay, I'm gonna turn this with the Nipix pliers. I have a feeling I'm gonna crack this part too. I think it's just too tight. Hey Sven! Jack is, yeah, tall guy. Okay, so let's just see if, yeah, this ain't going in, man. Not like how it currently is. I'm actually kind of shocked they didn't, I'm shocked they didn't cut. I'll grab my little file real quick. We'll file it just ever so slightly, but kind of surprised they didn't start the teeth onto it. We just struggled with this like last week on the, I'm just gonna kind of go file at an angle here. But yeah, we just struggled with this like a week ago on the Doron. It was too tight and too small as well. We made it work, but it was not pretty. So I would rather opt to not have this if it's not going to go in smoothly. Just trying to clear out a little bit of the maybe overhang. Although it printed, what direction did this print? Okay, yeah, so it printed like this. So yeah, there would be overhangs. No, I just reprinted it. I just printed it, so this is more of a model would probably have to change a little bit. If I can get the first line of teeth to catch, but it's just not catching. I think we're gonna go with the version that doesn't have it, man. If it was a Bowden, we'd have to do this, but because it doesn't, this is purely optional, and I don't know there's really much benefit of having this guy. Yeah, let's go with the style that's like mine. That at least puts us closer to what I've actually got. So we'll go with this. Basically, the Bowden tube just gets pressed into here. It's a little bit of a friction fit, but again, this is a direct drive extruder, so it's really just to guide the filament into place, and I find myself pulling it off quite often, so having it kind of loose to be able to feed the filament in by hand, to me, has always been kind of a perk more than anything. So try without the PTFE tape. I can try the one that he sent over, which is this guy. It doesn't have the tape. I don't think that's the issue, because I'm not even getting to the point. I don't feel like I'm even getting to the point where the tape is interfering with it. No, it's just, yeah, it's not catching. It's also not deep enough, so it would go in like that much. So I don't know if there's a special kind of fitting that's intended for this, but this is, I mean, there's no way this is going there. It'll bottom out beyond bottoming out, so, but, okay. So the next thing we are gonna do, there's a pretty nice guide. You know what, actually, the next thing I'm concerned about is this guy. This bearing right here, maybe designed for a tapered thread. That's possible. Yeah, it didn't exist at all when I built mine, so I don't really know the specifics. I just printed out the latest stuff in the repository. So this is, I have concerns with. Mine was a loose fit. This is really on there. It is spinning freely, but because it's not able to slide as it needs to, it's possible that it's applying more force than it should be to the body of the extruder. So I'm gonna put this up against the quartz and see if I can press it off. I don't think I can. Yeah, I think it's on there really freaking tight. I'm trying to think. I know that I have... I'm trying to think about where I would have put my... Give me 1 sec, everybody. I'm gonna see if I can find my Cyclops box, because I'm pretty sure... I don't know if I kept it, which sucks. I'm pretty sure I had some extra bearings. Nope, those are for the Kraken. Okay, here it is, here it is. I don't think I've got it, but let me just check for fun. These are... I've got extra... Oh, wait. I do have extra bearings, but mine aren't flanged. Okay, so I have an extra of this one. I don't have an extra of the one that's stuck on here. It's like my G2, the shaft has to slide in and out a few times. Yeah, I really want to get this thing off and just slightly sand. I just don't know if I'm gonna... I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. This is definitely a concern. Really stuck on there. I think I have a motor shaft extractor, but I have concerns that it's going to damage this bearing. Do you still have the puller from the underwire build? I think I might. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I mean, worst comes to worst, if for some reason I happen to damage this bearing, I would just order a new one, but of course that would kill the stream. As far as us being able to do anything. I think that extractor is probably in the garage, so let me bring out this tool, random box of tools. I'll run downstairs and see if I can find it. But yeah, I think that... I don't remember. Hold on, let's look really quickly at the instructions. Oh, I don't remember mine being anywhere near that tough. So let's see. Wait, this is going all the way. Interesting. Okay, so this is actually going all the way up against the base. It's not at the end, it's the other one that's at the end. I still think, I don't know if I'll be able to press it all the way down like that, but I don't know how. Peter, how did you get this thing on? I'm curious, how did you press this thing on all the way to the bottom? It's just so stuck. Because according to this, it basically wants to bottom out. Like, it needs to be bottomed out, but it's like, it is so stuck. So I think I probably have no choice but to try to extract it and then sand a little bit to get it looser. I'm almost tempted to pull mine out. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should pull mine out and get a comparison. That's probably not a bad idea. Let's do that. That's something we can at least do for this second. So let me pull, let me remove the glass off the top of my K1 Max. And then I'm going to lift this. Oh, dear God. Oh. It's definitely not Orbiter 1.5 hardware. It's at least Orbiter 2. Okay, so let me... Yeah, we're just gonna undo mine. So we'll start, let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay, so I've got to, oh man, I've got to actually turn this on and lower the bed. So let's do that really quickly here. 1 second. Okay, power this on. Aluminum is easy to get to gall when installing the bearing. Wonk. It should be running the same hardware that's in mine, and mine's been running fine for quite a while. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly home this. Not the fastest home. There we go. Was it stuck there before you got it? Yeah, so the thing I'm a little bit confused about is I just pulled off the gear, and based off of where the gear was, it couldn't have been there. Like, I had to get the gear off, so this had to have been further on. I don't know, maybe when I pulled it backwards, that's what caused it to go further out, but it couldn't have been where it is right now when I got it, because it was fully assembled when this gear was here, so this had to have been somewhere over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and move Z down. Let's move it down a couple times. Okay, that should be enough clearance for us. There might be a burr on the unlocking it on. Okay. Did people have issues with the Orbiter 2? Because I've been running Orbiter 2.0 on my words are tough. I'm running an Orbiter 2.0 on my why can't I think of what it's called right now? The Ender upgrade for like two years now almost, and it's been a really solid extruder. Okay, that's coming off. Let's try not to break anything. Okay. This is going to be a 2.5 millimeter driver. I do remember it was tough to get the PTFE fitted correctly into this. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've assembled this. It was the Merc. Yeah, the Merc's been running an Orbiter 2.0, and I've been really happy with it. It's just been such a consistent extruder for me. Okay. I think is there a third screw, or is it just the two? I honestly don't remember. Feels like there's a third screw. So let me go around the other side. Yep, there's a third screw. So I can get this out of my way. Okay. Okay, all screws are out. You put them in the same place to try not to lose them, because it's me. And then I should be able to pull this guy up. Yep. Okay. Okay, so I've got wires being fed through here. And then this just plugs in right here. There we go. Okay. All right, my extruder is completely out, so let's close this up. And let's go ahead and put this on the ground again. Oh. Okay. Oh, lift with the knees. Okay. All right, so here is mine. And we are just going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep my parts. So let's undo you. Keep my parts over to the left. For the argument between 1 and 2 extruder gears, yeah, there's the video that was done where basically it shows with like the 2 extruder gears, if I'm not mistaken. There's, oh God, what was it? It was if there's 2 extruder gears, it was something to do with the meshing of the teeth, if I remember correctly, would leave some kind of artifact. But I also, I mean, I'm not saying there's not some validity to that argument, but I've also used plenty of two geared extruders and had a really positive experience. So, and make sure these are the same motors. Yeah, identical. Okay. And then on mine, pull off the housing. Everything is spinning fine. Yeah, I can already... Mine feels much like... So already, like, with mine, it's much easier to move mine than yours was. Yours had friction, so let's go ahead and pop this pin out, which I think we go from front to back again. Let's pop these screws out too. The dual gear issue is very much dependent on the fabrication. This means that on some parts it's going to be better than others. Single gear eliminates the possibility altogether. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like with, I mean, Bondtech, they have their manufacturing process down. I've always had a really positive experience with Bondtech stuff. Okay. Pin is out. Okay, and then I'm going to... My gears are different than yours. My gears are pretty different than yours. I'm looking at my gear versus your gear, and they're completely different colors. So that's odd. Definitely at least a different coating was applied to them. Mine's black and yours is a silver, so I don't know. They should both be hardened, but that's definitely a difference. Also, I want to say your inner fitting is different looking than mine. Let me pop this out. Yeah, mine's they should both be hardened. Maybe DRT saying RNC coating, so maybe it's just the coating that was different that was applied. I don't know. Let me pop this out. Oh, that pin was really loose. Luke, wow, thank you so much, man. The 10 gifted memberships, that's awesome. Airborne, cheers. Thank you, Luke. Really appreciate the support, man. Let me pop this out. Yeah, that's another difference. So I have got what looks like a brass fitting on the inside, and yours is, I'm assuming this is palm. It's definitely not a metal. Or an alloy. It feels like it's palm, so I'm assuming that's palm. So there's a second difference I'm already seeing. Let's get my gear off here. Where's the set screw? There it is. Where is my? There we go. I can get this off. There we go. Mine slides out a lot simpler. Look at that. My bearing popped right off without any issues. There was like no friction at all. So clearly we're seeing some differences here. Can I get mine out without screwing it up? Now that's the question. Let's see. Do I have like a large flathead? This might work just to get behind here. There we go. There's my bearing. I think my front bearing is going to be slightly... No, they're the same. Let me check this really quick. So I know on mine was also very early. I mean, I got it before resellers did. So I know that on this bearing, I think that the creator had me order a different bearing than what he had sent me. So mine is 2.5 millimeters. Yours is... No, they're identical. Okay, so at least we're using the same size bearings for that part. Okay, can I push? I'm just gonna push on the... Here we go. Yeah, so there's a difference too with our... It's the exact same thing. I mean, I would expect that both gears at least match. Put Peter's axle in your extruder. And then this piece... Yeah. You think you're saying use this part on mine, on his? I mean, mine is so smooth. It slides on and off without any issue. So there's definitely some difference there. We can try that. Because with yours, I'm gonna have to use that extraction tool, which we can try after, but yeah, maybe we just rebuild it with this, and if it works, then I'll just let you keep this, and I'll figure out, you know, oh, wow. Oh, this is, wait, no, I think I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping, they're the same. Yeah, they're basically the same. Mine looks machined a little bit cleaner than yours, I will say. I can see the... Watch, let me see if I can show this. If I can get this to focus. So, I don't know how well you can see it with the reflection. Nah, you probably can't. But on his, I can see the actual tool marks from where they did their pass on this, while mine's completely smooth. But that really shouldn't be an issue. I mean, that part is just where the gear is biting onto. But yeah, okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna take your center portion and I'm gonna keep that there. And I'm going to use this, which was mine. And yeah, we'll basically build it with everything you've got except that centerpiece, because that's really the main thing that I'm seeing that seems like that could be causing an issue. So yeah, let's do it. Let me grab my heat inserts really quick. Yeah, let me grab my heat inserts. Yeah, if that's the case, I'll do what I have to do. So I'll remove it. If I damage it when removing it, I'll just source another one of those flanged bearings. Okay, heat inserts. Excuse me. Oh man, my back is hurting. I was moving the K2 printer and that thing weighs too much. It's definitely a team lift. Okay. Okay, so this is the housing we're going with, which is 1.9. What does mine say? Mine says... Okay, so this is identical to mine. Yeah. I'd like to use the same housing as what I've been using, just because I know that works. So we're using, it looks like 5 inserts. So we'll start with 2 on this side. Yeah, seems like it's just standard boron. Maybe a tiny hair fatter, but it should be fine. Let me go. I'm gonna push it a little. I want it below the surface because this has to slot into the K1 housing, and I don't want any of these to be sticking out even a hair. So what you're saying is that I wasn't totally inept putting that together. It was the parts. It's hard to say for certain. There's clearly differences. There's clearly differences, but I never entirely. I don't think I ever said like, oh, it's probably a you thing. I wasn't sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm clearly seeing differences already between my internals and what yours had. And the shaft is by far the most concerning part to me. The rest of it seems fine, but the shaft I don't like. I don't like how hard. So it looks like 4 heat inserts actually. Yeah, I don't like how hard it is for that bearing to slide. Unless mine just locked up. Unless it just locked up on the end. I'll use the extractors. If we get done with this on stream, we have time. I'll see if I can find them and we can try to pull it on stream. 1 second here. Let me try to get this in. But yeah, if I have to, the next thing I'll do likely is just grab some sandpaper and try to file the shaft down a little bit. I think it's probably close. The difference is usually so minimal. The difference between it sliding smoothly and it kind of locking up. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit big. Do I have a small? Where's my 1.5 at? A little bit of plastic building up behind it. It should be okay. One second. Here we go. Okay, so one last one. Oh, that's not going in straight. There we go. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for heat inserts. Make sure you use some lube on the shaft. Well, yeah, you don't want it to be loose, but you need it to be able to slide on. So if it doesn't slide on at all, then you do have to smooth it a little bit. Okay. All right, so next up we are going to be inserting the bearing, which is this guy. And I think on this one I just placed it like this. That was a really loose fit, which is fine. Hey Sweam! Hey Spectra! Okay, so next we're grabbing shaft. We've already got the bearing on it. We are going to then install this guy. And I'm gonna get the set screw installed. I won't fully secure it yet, but I'll at least get it so that way it can't rotate. What did I say? What did I say, GPs? Something that would be inappropriate out of context. You know what? No, I'm going to put a little bit of my Loctite on it. It's got a little bit of blue already, which I don't think mine had any Loctite, so it's kind of cool. Yours at least does. But I'm just going to put a little bit of mine. Do I have? Let's just use this. Teeny tiny bit. Hey, hon. Aaron says, happy stream day, everyone. All right, that was way more than enough. Okay. Okay, so yeah, now it's basically locked in. I'm gonna tighten it a hair more because it's still pretty loose. So we can slide up and down, but I can't rotate it off of the flat portion of the shaft. It would be interesting now to carefully look at how the gears and the filament path align before taking it apart. We're all children here. This is true. Okay. So we got that on. And next we are going to insert the newly assembled drive shaft from it, carefully feeding it through. Okay, so I think on this I just left it face down like this. And basically just press it in like that. Nope, that didn't go through. There we go. That feels... No, that feels fine. It felt a little tight at first, but it seems like it's spinning pretty freely now. I am gonna take it out one more time because I'd like to get it flush. So let me see here. I'd like to have this piece flush. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. That bearing had got pushed in a little bit, and now it's completely flush, which I know is how I had mine. So this is like a G2, but for the K1. I feel like I haven't built the G2, actually. I have the parts for it. I haven't built it. It uses a lot of parts from the internal orbiter. Are we getting any spoilers in your collaboration with Steve? I'm gonna leave that up to Steve. If Steve says yes, then I'm fine with it. Otherwise, we'll wait. The only thing I'll say right now is that we are in the process of sourcing parts. Okay, insert all three of the bearings into the orbiter gears, which we've already got done. And then place them on the backside. So we will do that. So basically there's, when you get this kit, these, hey, low sync, these little metal bearings are not inserted, so they're already inserted in this case. So we just got to make sure that we put the metal facing downward. So grab these. Should be a fairly soft. I'm gonna place this flat down when I do it. There we go. Okay. Why do I feel like we're rubbing? That's interesting. When this one is pressed all the way down, it's making some slight contact. They're all making some slight contact with the top of the plastic housing, like basically this rim of it. Hey, Dr. Dave. I don't remember that being the case with mine. I'm gonna check mine. I'm gonna pop these out again. I just want to make sure that that is not an issue. Come on, buddy. Of course, I pushed it in a little. Once you get it all in, it's fine, but getting it in's a little fickle. There we go. Here, I think what I'll do is I'll instead push this in. So that way it's fully seated. Then I'll install this around it. There we go. Okay, so let's see if these rub on my printed body. They do. Okay, so they are rubbing. So it doesn't seem like that was an issue with mine. Let me try my gears. My gears don't rub. They might rub a little, but it feels like it's less. I'm curious here. These have to be the same size bearings. I'm just gonna move forward. Actually, here. Just for fun, let's take one of these, and I have spares of these. Kind of bust out the sandpaper. I'm probably gonna have to use some sandpaper for the shaft that he sent in. It definitely, it's stuck, like the bearing will not slide at all. So let's check with my calipers. I feel like these have to be the same height, but who knows? So this is what was in there, 2.47. These are what I've got. Yeah, mine are not any bigger. If anything, they're a hair smaller. So, okay, that's fine. It was worth checking to me. Okay, so these are your bearings. These are what I had. Pop that out. Pop that out. Just trying to rule out anything else, like any external factors that could be part of the issue. Okay. Okay, that looks good. All right, let's get these on. Should only take a second here. You got any shims I could use? I've got shims, but I don't want to modify this thing. Like it shouldn't need it. It really shouldn't need it. And it's a really light rub, so, and it seems like mine was doing the same, and I had no issues with performance on mine, so maybe it'll just lightly wear after a slight bit of use. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you can, if you listen to it, can you hear it? Or, wait, hold on. You can hear it, right? So the plastic parts are in Polymaker Galaxy Gray ABS, which, funny enough, is what I had used on mine. It's also what Peter had used on his. So good, great taste in great taste in color choice. Okay, so his already has some grease. I'm also going to just get a paper towel, remove some of his grease, and put a little bit of the super lube stuff that I used. It looks like his has plenty of grease in it, but still, just because we're doing this, might as well. I'm going to also take one more second to just look at the teeth when they're not as reflective to make sure I don't see any issues with any of the teeth. I don't want to go too hard because we definitely don't want paper towel residue in here. Okay. Just looking really for any damaged teeth. There's a little blue piece in here. It looks fine to me. So that seems fine. Where did you get this kit from? So Peter, where did you order yours from? The one I had was sent to me by the creator before it actually launched, so that's where mine came from, but I'm not sure. I'm assuming you probably ordered it from this place in the US that's out of stock, which is PD3D. ABS and bearing lube don't like each other very much. Parts in contact with lubricant should always be ASA. I don't think that's true. I've never heard that before, and chemically, ASA and ABS are both in the styrene family, and I've only heard of what was I gonna say? Yeah, as far as chemical reactions between them being fairly similar, but I've never had that issue. So I got my Cyclops from Watt. Okay, Watt's Kraken, gotcha. Yeah, I mean mine's also running ABS and I haven't had any issues. So I don't know where that I'm putting a little bit on the gear itself and then a little bit in the housing, but I've never heard that. Also, the grease isn't well, I guess it might touch the ABS part, but yeah, I've used super lube with ABS parts for a really long time, so I don't think that that's totally true. Maybe in certain cases with some greases, but I think normally in the past I've seen it, they just do a little line around the whole thing. I don't want to overdo it though. I'm pretty sure on mine, if I remember, I just kind of put some throughout the gears, the teeth, and then it'll mesh into place shortly here. I'll just do basically 3 dots on these gears. But yeah, I've been running this thing for a while. I haven't had issues, so I think they're thinking if Loctite and ABS absolutely won't work. That's a disaster. That I do know. But that's different than lube. Okay, these are all meshed correctly. Okay, so that's locked in. Yeah, I've learned that the hard way, but as far as I'm aware, ASA will have the same thing. ASA and ABS have I mean, they're both in the styrene family. Yes, there's definitely some differences. The ASA, for one, has UV resistant properties into it, or, you know, in the chemical formula, but is Loctite fine with ASA? I would assume not so. Okay, clear out any debris, add a generous amount, then place the housing, twist clockwise and counterclockwise until the gear's set, which we did. And then as far as the orientation, hold on, I think EPS is here. If they are, I'm excited because it's a package from Japan. He's gonna ring the doorbell though. Yeah, it's EPS. Aaron's not gonna like that. Okay, the thing I'm trying to remember though is orientation of the motor. I did that wrong the first time, so I'm gonna really quickly, we're gonna go to my YouTube channel. Did Erin turn off the, no, she didn't. When the okay. YouTube. Just trying to remember the direction. I had the...
Like a screwdriver. The guide calls for tuning. It's been a little difficulty aligning the piece.
Okay, so it looks like we want the motor facing towards, let's see, where's the top of this thing? So I think we have it towards the bottom. Yeah, it looks like we have it towards the bottom. On-stream card unboxing? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm also nervous. It was a fairly expensive order, and after I got scammed on the one order last time, I'm like, please be legit. Okay, so that dropped right into place. As far as I know, Loctite is only fine with PSU and PPSU. All the regular filaments can get destroyed. I think Loctite's fine with any of the filaments other than styrenes. It definitely works fine with nylon. I've used it with nylon for sure and didn't have any issues, but I've used Superlube on ABS, ASA, PTG, and PLA, never had a problem. Yeah, Superlube's not an issue. Okay. So we got that installed. Insert the gear. Okay, now we're installing our screws again. So we've got one long screw going in the bottom. Oh, my stomach. Why is my stomach growling? I literally had Eggo waffles an hour and... We started streaming 20 minutes ago, so I had Eggo waffles like an hour and 30 minutes ago. Here we go. Okay, I'm not over tightening these. I'll probably snug them up a hair more, but... Okay. Okay, just hand tight. Okay, feels like motor's still moving fine. All right, screws are in for that. Next, we're gonna get this, and it's interesting that yours has palm and mine has brass, but I don't think that would be an issue. I mean, it felt like it had really smooth rotation, so I don't think that's your issue. If it's a Pikachu with thick thighs, it's legit. There is a series of knockoff Pokemon cards where they just have like big butts. They're hilarious. I haven't picked them up. I do appreciate some of the knockoffs, but yeah, this is not one I've gotten. I'm gonna go with the same. I printed out 2 extruder arms. Where are they? I'm gonna go with the one that matches the style I had. So, where is mine? This is my stuff. That's your stuff. But there's no extruder arm. Where did I put it? Where the heck did it go? Did I throw it? I might have thrown it in with mine. Unless this could be mine, I suppose. So yeah, we're gonna go with the same style, which is this one. Okay, so having this like this, oops. Mod button. Hey man, this is a no judge zone. All right, so this is going in just like this, loosely. Okay. And hopefully once we get the pin in, that'll spin freely. Carefully slide in the tension arm assembly to retain either. Filament from this pin should be tight. Start with the non-spurred side of the pin, making it easier. Start with the non-spurred side. Oh, okay, gotcha. So your pin is this guy, and is this the right size? I'm gonna say it is. This feels like it's probably far too small. Yeah. Okay, so we are just going to install this. Like that. And then we will press it all the way in. Okay. Oh yeah. That is beautiful. That probably spins better than my brass one. Yeah, it spins really nicely. Okay. I feel good about that. Your arm feels smooth. Okay, let's move this stuff here. So we got that. Then we are going, that's right. So for, now we have to have the filament guide, which is going into the bottom. And it's just this metal piece that cuts its own teeth. So I'm gonna use, oh my gosh, what is going on? Okay, and I've got a large flathead that should be pretty much the exact size of this. I'm just gonna help hold it in place here. Once you get it beyond the surface, it's a lot easier because it can't slip. Oh. Come on, buddy. Okay. So we're getting close. If I remember correctly, I want it touching, yes. So I'm gonna keep tightening it until it actually touches the gear, and then I'm just gonna back it off a hair. So we'll keep spinning. Okay, we are touching the gear. I'm just clearing out a little bit of plastic. And then it says turn it on, back it off about half a turn to 3/4 of a turn. So we'll do, let's see. So that is half a turn. And we'll do just a hair more, about there. Okay. Yep. That seems fine to me. Hell, I can even go, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back just a part of a turn. Because we really, you want it as close as possible, but obviously without making contact, so. Yeah, that seems good to me. Okay. So there's that. Thread it, we did that. Okay, add a small length of filament to the top housing. Okay, so yeah, now we're just gonna use a piece of filament, which is our guide, to make sure that this is straight, which is pretty standard from extruders. So feeding it through, and then, well, you know what, actually I need to get the set screw in view. 1 second here, keep turning it with my nail. There you are. Oh, a little bit more. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty well centered. Yeah, I'm looking at the teeth. So I'm basically just looking at the gear. I'll show it really quick here. It's hard to see, but I'm looking at the filament path on the gear teeth and kind of just eyeballing. I mean, you're using this as a reference, but the teeth visible on the left and the right side, and it's basically exact. So I'm gonna move this down one more time, and I'm just gonna snug it up. That looks good to me. And just hand tighten it. We don't want to strip it. Hey, Iconic. This is the part where I always saw it scraping the filament at the top of the metal insert. Okay. I don't see that happening here. It goes through metal insert. Yeah, no, it seems like it's passing through smoothly. So I don't know. And I am using yours, not mine. Let's see if I go from the top down. Actually, is this the fat? No, this is the side I should be using. Yeah, no, it goes right in. It's smooth. Yeah, it's really smooth. So, yep. Should be good. Should be good. I feel good about everything on this so far. It could be something I was doing wrong then. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know how many different bodies you went through. As far as, you know, like the one you sent me that had the, I think this is what you had installed. No, I think you had the other style installed. So I don't know if anything was changed between this variant and the variant before, other than obviously like that. But yeah, no, it seems like it's fitting as smoothly as mine was, which is good. So, okay, and the last step is to drop this guy onto here, like so. Okay, we're pivoting nicely, and then we're gonna slide, insert the smooth side first. Okay, so same thing. We're gonna take our last pin. One of the pins, or I'm sorry, one side of the pin has teeth on it, and so we'll start with the smooth side, and that's kind of to lock it in place. So we will just go ahead and get this like so. Push it in. That hurts my hand. Let's use our surface and not our skin. There we go. Got a little bit more. I think I can still get it in a hair further. I'm gonna actually just use my Allen key to press it just a hair more. Oh, that was too far. There's a fine line between just enough and you went a little too far. Here's what I'll do. I'll place this up against the flat surface and I'll push it from the back. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now we've got our tension arm in, which seems fine. And the last thing should be just to apply the, yep, just to insert this guy, which we're gonna use yours. It's the LDO official one, which those are totally fine. And then what I'll do is I'll set tension right now. Yeah, I'll set tension right now. So let's go ahead and back this out. I use the other style, maybe it's the filament path in the other design. Yeah, it's possible something else changed. I mean, I couldn't tell you, you know. If you look at I was reading ever so briefly in the repository. So this is the update. Tension arm. So yeah, extra spacer where the gears are not tight fit and slides around, which that doesn't seem to be an issue. So yeah, I don't know what other changes there were, other than that Bowden fitting. So, and I didn't have any issues with my tension arm, so I don't see any reason why we should swap over tension arms for you. But I'm gonna get a clean piece of PLA that doesn't have any teeth marks in it, and we're gonna tension this to until we get just some slight light teeth biting into the filament, but not too much. So, where do I have just a basic filament, like a basic PLA that's not is this? That's PET G. I have so much filament, but it's like when I need to find the one that I want for whatever I'm doing, I can't find it. This is PETG. What is this? This is probably PLA. Yes. Okay. And this already has teeth on it because it was, so I'm gonna cut off the filament where there's no teeth from the previous extruder it had been loaded into. We don't want to mix it up. Wow, this one had teeth really far back. What the heck? I wonder what printer I had this loaded in. There. Oh, no, it's still teeth. There we go. Wow, that was a lot more filament than I thought I was gonna have to remove. Okay, so let's cut this off like so. We'll feed this through here. Okay. Yeah, so I've just got, this is just some blue PLA, and I made sure that I cut it, because when you unload it from whatever printer you have it into, there's going to be some teeth marks, and I don't know what I had to load into, but the teeth marks went really far back. So I'm going to cut this at a 45. I'm going to loosen this pretty much the whole entire way. And then I'm going to shove this through here. Hopefully it's going to feed through. Yep, there we go. Okay, so obviously no tension right now. It's really easy for me to just slide this thing back and forth. Hey, Man of the Croc. Not a whole lot. So we're rebuilding this Cyclops Extruder. Peter, who's in chat. Hey, nice. Hey, RH2D. Peter, who's in chat, got one of these kits, I think shortly after watching my video, and has been having nothing but issues with it. And so he reached out and I agreed, like, hey, if you send it over, I'll take it apart and rebuild it and see if we can figure it out. And so far, the biggest issue, there's some differences definitely. Like my gears have a different coating. Also, I have a brass insert while his has a palm insert. But this is the biggest issue I'm seeing. The tolerances of the shaft on his are much tighter, and this thing's like locked on. So I'm going to use my my stepper motor like extractor thing that I have later to see if I can pull this off. And I'm going to have to sand this down ever so slightly. This is definitely too tight. We do not want it this tight. This is not for the gear. This is just to allow the whole assembly to spin freely. So yeah, I basically am using all the parts he sent, but my printed parts, and then my shaft and my bearing, my flange bearing. So we're getting close to being done. I'm basically just tensioning it now. We're getting there. There's some light teeth marks. Yeah, I'm gonna do a tiny turn more like that. But I'm gonna call that good enough for now. At least as a starting point. We can always adjust it, but I've got, if you look at, here, let me show you guys. Can we see, hold on. Can you see the light teeth marks? I don't know if it'll show up on camera how well. They're really fine. You don't want it cutting into the filament. You just want basically so that it's gripping into the filament. I don't know if you can see it. I can't really see it from here, but it's really light. And you have to adjust that. Like different filaments will require different tensions, especially when you're getting into like softer filaments. But for now, it's at least a good baseline for PLA, a rigid material. Okay. Jumping back over to our manual, we've got that installed. Sweet, okay. So yeah, the thing it does require you to do is cut off this little portion of the housing, but I've already done that. And then we're gonna use my PTFE tube. I know that this is a good length. And I've actually also, I took a V-bit to it. I took a little V-bit to it and cleared it out a little bit so that way it guides the filament directly into it. What I almost want to do is cut another one of these before we install this, just so I've got one for myself. Let me see if I can find, I don't have a really good cutting tool, so it's going to be kind of jank. I don't even know if I have a blade. I'm probably going to have to use my Bamboo Lab cutter thing. Excuse me. But let me see here. I think I've got, yeah. We'll just use the stuff that came with, excuse me. This is what came with the door on, so we'll just use that. Sucks. I had Steve's little filament cutting jig, but I can't keep track of where things go, especially between builds. So I'm gonna start by just cutting it kind of shorter. There we go. And then I'm gonna do my best to sort of just line these up. This is not, I would recommend a jig to anybody. Is the shaft aluminum? Maybe freezing it will help if it's not really locked on too much. That's what GP said too. It is aluminum. I will try, maybe I will try freezing it before I try extracting it and damaging something. But yeah, I can try that. But yeah, this thing is totally locked on, and we checked mine. Yes, mine was a tight fit, but like, it slid on smoothly. While this, I'm like yanking on it. I'm like, I can't get this thing off at all. So yeah, maybe I'll try freezing it before I try brute force. It's probably the more sane option. So yeah, I'm just gonna basically eyeball this right now, which I'm telling you, this is not what I recommend doing for anybody else. I just don't have tools right now. I don't know where tools are. So let me throw this out so I don't mistake it for my piece. That's really close. I think I might shave a hair. No, I think that's close enough to where I'm not going to touch it. Yeah. Okay, so I'll hit mine with a V-bit later as well, because it definitely makes a pretty big difference. So, yeah, so we're going to shove this inside of here, like so. There we go. So that should be the same length. Saying there is no sanity here. We can pretend. We can pretend there's some sanity. Okay, so next thing is I'm going to throw this Loctite into this box so it doesn't get on parts. And then we'll get this installed. Hopefully we'll be printing very shortly here. I gotta be careful with my back. 1 second. You gotta get low to lift it. So I can primarily use my knees. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, it's not so bad, this one. It's just, again, all about not bending over when you're lifting it. Okay. Sweet. So you won't be able to see too much of me. I'm just gonna give you guys like the side angle. It's too tall for me to get you guys a view of me installing it, but basically just sliding it into place and then bolting it from the sides. There we go. Okay. Most difficult part about installing it is making sure you've got your PTFE lined up correctly. So I'm going to, oh, remember this was, I actually think, I'm not mistaken, I think I shoved the PTFE in the bottom. That was the easiest way, because I remember I bent a few PTFEs when I was trying to do this. Let me use my phone flashlight to see if I can at least get it guided in. Okay, nope, that went right in. That was a piece of cake. All right, and we've got our bolts. Let's go ahead and screw these in. So there's 2 on this side. That's not perfectly in. Interesting. I'm looking at the holes for this thing, and it needs to go in just a hair more. Interesting. I'll see if I can slightly angle it, but the top one especially. Let's see. Nice! Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, buddy. How are you doing, man? The bottom one looks like it's aligned more than the top, so maybe if I get the bottom one in, the top one will kind of pull itself down. You don't want to put a ton of force on the gantry, but yeah, I don't like the top one on here. Doesn't look as aligned as I would like, but let's see. Let's see if I can get the screw in. That's going. Let me get the last one in, then I'll just kind of work it from different angles till I tighten it up. I've never, wait, Axel Daniels bearings and vice versa. Yeah, this side looks like it's fully seated. So yeah, the only thing we're using that's mine in here is it's my new printed parts. It's the shaft from mine and my flange bearing. We are using his front bearing. I did measure them with calipers, sorry about that. And they were the exact same as far as the width goes, so. Okay, that's in. This top one is gonna be interesting. It's not, it's going in. Yeah, it kind of seated itself. There we go. Okay. That is in. So what's left? We've got to plug in the extruder cable. Let me open this up so I've got some room. Oh, you know what? Shoot, I didn't route it very nicely. Forgot in the back here, there's these little, damn. I should have routed it before I did this. For the sake of testing, it probably doesn't matter. But let me see if I can kind of feed these into where they'd like to go. I don't think I'm going to be able to. That sucks. There's a little area in here that you can route the cables into, but it's pretty difficult to get them into, even when you have the extruder out. And now that it's in, I don't think for testing I'm gonna do it. Let's just leave it as is. It's fine. This is awkward. Let's see. Am I installing this the correct way? I think I am. It seems like it. There we go. That's in. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna add. I'm gonna add a little zip tie to the back here to pull the wires up and out of the way as a temporary thing. But if it was permanently staying in here, I would route it.
Extra for me today. We had to put down our 12-year-old Boston Terrier due to cancer on Sunday.
Oh no. I'm really sorry to hear that, Hannah the Croc. That's awful news. I'm sending you big hugs, man. We've got Delilah's actually 12 years old too, and she's a lab pity mix, and being a bigger dog, like, I mean, we know we're on borrowed time here, so I'm really sorry to hear that. Definitely send in hugs your way, and I don't even know what to say. That's awful news, man. Yeah, I'm really sorry. It's definitely our you know, they're our babies. That's super sad. I'm really sorry, man on the Croc. I mean, that's awful news. Okay, so I'm zip tying this just to my hot end wires, but towards the top of my hot end wires that are really far away from the actual heating element. So this should keep us from bumping into anything we don't want to be bumping into. So let me cut the zip tie, then put the last two screws in, then we should be able to power it on. And this is what? These wires, I don't like how low these wires are either to the hot end. These are the LED wires. So I can pull this up a little bit. No, I think they have to stay kind of low like that. Okay, there we go. All right, last two screws, so then we can power it on. And these ones I'm definitely just lightly tightening, especially because the shell is a printed part on mine. It's plenty tight. I think I threaded that in cross-threaded. Maurice, thank you so much for 18 months, man. Hi, good. You say good morning, good evening, good evening. Yeah, I kind of cross-threaded that a little bit. Push it in here. There we go. There we go. I don't even need to install the second screw right now on this thing, but for the sake of me not losing it, I'm going to. I know that I'll lose it. And this is a little flathead screw that I don't have any spares of in my kind of array of parts here. Almost 10 p.m. Oh my gosh. That is definitely a good evening. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going tighter than that on that because it's just for... Okay, so we'll start with it in this orientation, I suppose. The only other thing, which I'm sure you did do, is you did update the rotation distance, right? I would assume you did for the new extruder. So the final step basically is just to update your rotation distance, and I think the gear ratio is what they have you update here. Let's see, so we did that. Oh, direction is what it was. On mine, I don't think I had to do that. So you get rotation distance and run current is the two things that they want you to update. Okay, cool. I figured as much, man. You'd be having a lot bigger issues if that wasn't set correctly. Like you would have never had any sort of success. Okay, so we're still booting. I'm gonna grab the IP in a sec here. I can't remember on the key one if do I need to... Okay, let's just see if it works. 192.168.105. I think it said 204. Yes. Okay, so the last part of this is basically going into your printer.cfg, which clearly I have screwed around with mine a lot, and updating, what was it? It was the, under the extruder, which the extruder is here. The direction pin, which in mine I didn't have to actually change the direction pin. So on this one it says to add an exclamation point to invert it, which mine didn't need it. Rotation distance is 4.637, which we can see I've already updated here. And then if we go into the TMC, it wants us to change our run current from I think 0.55 to 0.7. Yes, 0.55 to 0.7. So we're already good to go there. So I'm going to start by just loading in some filament. We're just going to do some PLA here. And then I'd like to get started on probably a decent sized print, because I know that Peter had mentioned that sometimes on a shorter print, it wouldn't show its face right away. So let's see if we can find something that's, oh, my stomach. Oh, what Kraken, cool. Hey, SB. Yeah, so we are, I don't know, Peter, is that where you ended up getting yours from? Basically, since you're here, we are installing the Cyclops Extruder, which I've already had installed for many, many, many months, but Peter, an awesome community member, had purchased one, and I don't know if it was from you or a different vendor. I know one person in chat said they got it from you, but has had issues with it. So I agreed to basically having him send it and me taking it apart and rebuilding it. And the only, I mean, there's some differences. His gears have a different coating, and I've got a brass insert in my tension arm while his appears to be palm. The main issue I'm seeing that is a standout is on the shaft itself. The tolerances, it just seems too tight. His bearing is like wedged on there. And so someone mentioned trying to freeze it. I've got an extractor tool, which if freezing it doesn't work, I'll try, but it seems like this needs to be sanded down a hair. I took mine off for comparison and it slid on nicely. So I don't know the machining on this, if it just was slightly out of spec or what the deal is, but we're using all of his parts from the kit, but my shaft and my flanged bearing for this. So, okay, so let me grab some PLA here. We're just gonna we'll use the same blue PLA that I tested. So let's go ahead and load this up. The tolerance is very tight. If you miss the line at all, the bearing won't slide. Okay, well, it's possible that's it. Once I get it off, like I'm hoping that freezing will get it off and I won't have to resort to kind of brute force with the extractor, but once freezing gets it off, hopefully, I will I will play around with it and see if if I can get it to slide on relatively smoothly. But yeah, right now it's locked up, and it's been a long time since I've might have to actually load it while I do this. Nope, we're going through. It's been months since I built mine, so I can't recall exactly on how tight mine was. But I know that the bearing on mine seems to be sliding a lot smoother. So yeah, we'll just push this in by hand. This is why I just don't mind having the non-threaded fitting here, because this is how I typically load it. I mean, sometimes I'll feed it, but I do like just this little kind of push it into the plastic thing. Okay, so we need a decent sized print. Not massive, but like not a benchy or something like that. So let's first go, let's go here. Do I have my K1 Max? I do. It literally called, oh, you can't see because I'm goofball, I'm stroking my face. We got my K1 Max. Let's go back to, let's just do a new project. No. Okay, so we should be able to see it from here probably. No, that's a different IP. So we're at 204. Wait, that is 204. Why is it not? Is it glitching on me? That's weird. All right, let's try it again. If you end up without getting it working, hit me up on Discord. We're friends and I can get something figured out for him. Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm actually, SB, as long as this one ends up working, I'm gonna send him, like, I'm gonna be the one without a working extruder. I'm gonna send this to him so that way he's got a working one. So I imagine, I'm hoping I can get it. Like, if it is just too tight, if I do notice that, like, even after taking it off and aligning the bearing correctly, that it is too tight, then I might end up trying to sand it just ever so slightly. I had to do that with the posts on the Mercury build for the bearings to be able to slide on smoothly. Basically, I think I just shoved the thing into a drill and then spun it for a little bit. Yeah, if for some reason I can't get it working, then I can ping you and see if you're able to get another one of those shafts. I know that the creator of the project, I haven't talked to him lately, but we've been in pretty close communication prior. So worst case, I could reach out to him. But yeah, if you've got one or something like that, I'm willing to reach out. Is your name on Discord also SB Tunes, or is it a different name? Why is it not working? Oh, I see why. This is from before we moved. My local changed, so it's not it's 105 now. It's always user error. There we go. That should do it. There we go. Okay, so let's quickly find just something that we can print. Printables. So the Orbiter 2 replacement parts with the DLC coating drive gear will fit if you do need replacements. Please don't make your equipment non-functioning by my sake. I can wait, really. I honestly don't mind, Peter, at all. Because of how many machines I'm testing out, the K1 Max has been kind of sitting for a little bit. So I would rather you have a machine working, man, as much as, like, I appreciate you, saying that, but I also at the same time am totally cool with not being down for a little bit. It's not going to affect me at all. I'd rather you be able to print out whatever projects you've got. Maybe we just try this. I've seen the Smash Tower, which is kind of cool. Smash Tower should handle V2 stiffer. Do we need Smash? Maybe we just print the top part of this Smash Tower. Yeah, that's definitely a pretty large one. We won't be finished. I don't even know if I'll actually be able to let it finish because I have to do video stuff on this table later today, and I have a feeling this is going to be quite a few hours. Yeah, SB, in case I reach out, is your Discord name also SB Tunes, or is it different on Discord? Yeah, no worries, man. I mean, it's one of those situations where, like, it just works out for me. Yeah, it's 16 hours. We can't print this whole thing. But yeah, it's no big deal. And like I said, I'd rather you have one. I can figure out, you know, whether I need to get another one of those or what, if I can get it working. But if this thing is working, which, you know, fingers crossed, let's see how it prints right now, then I would rather just get this back in your hands so you can plug it in and start printing. So how far in, out of curiosity, should we start to see major issues? This is what I think I'm gonna start printing. I'm not obviously gonna do a 16-hour print. I'll probably let it go for 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll have to just call it. But I just want to see, I really just want to see, you know, I don't know what exactly you're used to seeing with yours. So this is also ABS, so we should probably do generic PLA. I think that we're going to have some stringing, because if I remember correctly, with both the Flowtech and this extruder, I need to lower temps a little bit, but I'm more just interested in consistent extrusion at this point. Just print one of these parts. It's still probably going to be too long. Is this, I think it's a single part, or is it not? Let's see, can we break it? Split to objects. Oh, there we go. I still don't think it'll have enough time to, it's probably still going to be too much, but we'll see. That's at least better. It was never consistent. Sometimes it would fail after a few layers. Sometimes it would get halfway through the print. Okay. I actually might, I might be able to let this print finish at 10 hours. Because I'm just thinking I'm not going to be recording audio. I just need access to this surface. So what I can do is while the print is printing, I can just set it on the ground back here. It looks like the power cable's long enough. And as long as I have access to get footage on this, I should be fine. So I'll try to let this thing finish. Let's actually center it. But yeah, let's give this a go and see how it does. Let's see how the first few layers go. Also, in 2 minutes, I'm going to open up the giveaway because it has been 2 hours. And this week's stream, we're probably going to call it in about half an hour, as long as we don't have issues here. Okay, we're uploading. I know that it always takes... I need to still... need to correct my starting G-code and stuff on this printer. It still takes a lot longer than it needs to. Usually it meshes, I think it's meshing a few times to try to get within a tolerance or something like that. I don't know. We'll see how it does. Sometimes it starts printing right away after a mesh, other times it doesn't. Also, I've got little residue pieces of filament on here, but it's fine for what we're doing. Let's just see how the extruder goes. It's really what we're interested in. And I'll get the giveaway opened up right now. Send. Okay, giveaway link is in chat. Pin message. Have they fixed extrusion issues with the K2? Sorry, I can't see the message real quick. It's I don't even understand how it happened in the first place. They have a known to be good extruder. Did they throw it in the cheaper? Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, DRT. I have a K2. So I have a K2 that they sent me quite a while ago for testing, but because of limited space that I have to actually record, which is quite a bit of space, but still limited, it took a lot longer for me to get the K2 unboxed because I was working on the GD Plus 4 for many months because of the issue with the SSR and just me wanting to be thorough with my testing. So I got the K2 unboxed and I set it onto the workbench, and it's like, all of a sudden I'm like, why is this thing wobbling? And I look underneath it, I'm like, oh, there's only 3 feet on it. And so I look in the box and I find the 4th foot, and I grab it, take it over to the printer, and realize that the 4th foot had been sheared off. And excuse me. At first, I thought, is it possible that okay, you're Zarbo's on Discord. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna copy that and just put it into a notepad really quick. What was I saying? Yeah, I thought maybe it was me because I solo got that thing out of the box and I did have to lean it. So I thought, okay, maybe I did that. And after looking on YouTube, there's a broken foot, there's a broken foot, there's a broken foot, there's a broken foot. There's an actual broken foot. But it turns out that, at least initially when they were shipping them, there was some packaging issues and a lot of units had one foot broken off. So I tried fixing it. That screw is not coming out. So they've already created like a replacement foot, and so I'm waiting on that, and then I'll be testing the K2. But I don't know anything about the extruder basically. The K2 is very different than the K1. Yeah, it is. So just weight alone, it weighs like double. I feel like, at least. I mean, it was brutal moving it, but the tool head looks substantially different. So I haven't taken it apart yet because I'm waiting. I want to like get that foot on before I do anything, and then go through like what's the setup process like, and then start kind of diving into it. But it's definitely different. The tool head looks completely different. It's much skinnier. I know that somebody took apart the extruder not long ago, and it did look like it was quite a different extruder, which maybe they did it because they were trying to keep it within the sleek housing, but I would much rather have a little bit fatter of a housing and a consistent experience than not. But this isn't me talking about like, I have no experience with the K2 other than I had a broken foot on mine, which hopefully is fixed. It's certainly not acceptable, but they said one of the first like 10 units that were shipped out as far as like creators go, and that they have since resolved that issue. I know Sam had a video, Sam Prentice, where he had the issue as well. And it seems like from the unboxing videos that I've seen parts of that have been live streams, that there haven't been any issues with the feet. So I'm hoping they corrected it. My K2 was just delivered an hour ago. Did you unbox it yet? Why did this happen? 1 second here. My Bowden tube popped out, which has never happened to me before. I'm worried I'm screwing up the mesh by touching it now. I'm gonna let it do its thing. Well, yeah, my Bowden tube popped out, which is interesting. It should only be feeding forward, so I don't know how that could have happened. Unless it maybe I had it angled weird, and I didn't see that when it moved right now, it just pulled the whole thing. It's the only thing I could think of, because it's a direct drive, so it really should only be pulling it forward. We'll see. Building husky shelves, nice. I'm making room for it. Okay, well, hopefully your foot is not a problem. I love Nami. Yeah, it's pretty adorable. I get, like, there was a bunch of people that were like, oh man, it's such a, like, waste. Like, what's the point? You're adding weight and it doesn't do anything. But then I looked at also, because I had a link for affiliate sales. I'm like, okay, there's people buying this thing, so not everybody thinks it's worthless. Like, I mean, I've always been the type of person where I'm like, not everything has to have like an actual functional purpose. Like, I get it. I like things that have functional purposes, but sometimes just because something is cool or neat or looks fun, like that's a good enough reason for me in a lot of cases to get something or do something. So, but yeah, I do think it's a pretty unique little upgrade, and the face is pretty dang funny. So hopefully it'll just do a single mesh. I've had it a couple times where it's done a few meshes, and I'm like, why are you redoing the mesh again? I thought I had also at one point adaptive meshing set up on this, but I don't know. Clearly it's not the case now. Hey, Gloak! I'm a sucker for silly, cute things. Yeah, I don't think you're alone. The K1C Max is not a bad machine. There's a load of community... Yeah, the community mods are awesome. It's just definitely not a like plug and play machine in my experience. Like the biggest issue I had was the bed. The bed was the monster issue. And the rest of the mods were kind of like just for fun. Like I do like the Microsys Flowtech ecosystem a lot. I actually have a video on installing it on the SV08. Because I know that some people are having, I think, leaking issues early on with the built-in nozzle hot end, but if you are a person that does enjoy modding and upgrading, then this certainly lets you do that a hell of a lot more than something like a Bamboo does. But yeah, if you're looking for just like, if you're expecting like you know, 3D printing's still not turnkey, but if you're looking for like as hands-off as possible, I wouldn't say the K1 is that experience. There's a Panda. I've seen the, you know what? Did they send the Panda Nami? I might have one coming. I'm not sure. Big Tree Tech sent over a bed, one of the cryo grips for the +4. I mentioned in that video it'd be nice to have one. They're like, we're making one, we'll send you it. And then with that, they sent over like 1 or 2 little upgrades for the A1 or the A1 Mini. I don't think it was Nami though. If it is, we'll maybe do a video, like a stream on that just for fun at one point. Yeah, see, now that you've installed the better bed, where did you get your 6mm bed? The only place I knew that was making them was the robotics or whatever, not Rack Robotics, whatever the robotics company was that went out of business. Okay, cool, it did work. Okay, so now we're heating up. My Crowley K1C has been running like a champ since I got it. Nothing changed on it yet though. I have some nozzles from Paytas to run on it eventually. I never tested the K1C, so I don't exactly know what all has changed with the K1C. Are we extruding? I don't see filament coming out. There's no filament coming out. It's not a great start. Maybe I didn't feed it all the way through when I thought that I did. I'm just gonna try to manually feed some filament through. Let's see. Where are you? Let's extrude 50mm. Extrude. I don't feel it extruding. It looks like the filament wasn't even far enough down. So let me try this again. Hey Jen! Austria, not the kangaroos. It doesn't actually feel like it's engaging at all. Let's see if I go 10mm extrusion length. Oh, okay, hold on. 220. It's possible I plugged it in incorrectly. I don't think that's the case, but... that seems like it's seated fine. One second, I'm just heating it up here. Okay. Yeah, it's not extruding. I don't think it's plugged. It doesn't feel plugged in right. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, well, let's power this off. I probably should have, this is probably something I should have tested before I actually put the cover on. Yeah, that's why that's exactly why the Bowden 2 popped out. There was no friction or no like motor current being applied. It would have been too simple for it to just work perfectly. Hey, clown. All right, one screw out. Let me come around to this side. It's weird, it felt like it was seated, but it's definitely not, like I feel it engaging with the gears, so it's definitely a motor issue at this point. Oops. Okay, screw coming out. Cover coming off. Okay, let me take a look at the side where I plugged it in. Looks seated to me. Gonna unplug it one more time. Oh, nope. The pins came out from the plug, so it definitely wasn't seated correctly. Yeah, it's not good. Okay, let me clip this. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, those pins look seated fine. Let me look at mine to see how the let's see. So we've got red and blue on the outsides. Red on the outside, some blue on the other outside. It's interesting that it was able to pull out that easy. Okay, it looks like that's seated. Yeah, they are not locking in very well. Huh. That's interesting. Even when I slide it all the way back in, let's see. So red's snug. Green is snug. Blue is fairly snug. But yellow is just sliding right out. I can recrimp it if I need to. I hate crimping these little guys. Let's see. Do you recommend this upgrade? I've been really happy with it. So, are you having issues with your extruder? But yeah, I've been very happy with mine. I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on with this one. Maybe I'll just swap the plug. Let me try that. Let's see if I get a new plug, if that'll help. Second here. Oh, let me try yellow one more time. Yeah, that is not locking in. So let me see if I push this guy in. It looks like the little arm that engages and locks it in place is still intact. And it's a really small connector, so it's not exactly the easiest thing to see. Oh no, the wires are screwed up on this. I wonder if this was your issue, man. I wonder if this was your issue. I'm looking at the green wire and it's only hanging on by a couple threads where it meets the connector. That's definitely not good. So yeah, I'm gonna take these out. I don't think it's the we're gonna recrimp this. That would definitely cause sporadic extrusion, where sometimes maybe it's having a solid connection, other times depending on motion it's not fully connecting. Yeah, I don't like these small connectors either. This isn't going to be a lot of fun for me. But yeah, seeing the green one, which is the one that's still seated, it's just not It is not... I mean, it came off now. Like, it completely broke off the connector. And I'm convinced in saying that that wasn't a me thing. I didn't apply much force at all to this plug when I connected it. So, yeah, I'm going to end up stripping these wires. I'm going to end up stripping these wires and redoing all of them just because I don't have a whole lot of faith in them at this point. The green one's much shorter than the other ones too. It's really weird. Okay, yeah, we'll see how it goes. If for some reason I run into crimping issues, maybe I'll swap motors for you too, but let's try to get these crimped right now. Just gonna cut all these off so they're the same length. And these are what, pHs, I think? Yeah, pH 2.0s. My arch nemesis. Wait, no, this isn't it. No, 2.0s is full size. Uh-oh, do I even have the connector for this? What is this size? I'm pretty sure I've purchased... No, do I even have them? Let me do a quick look. Can I post these here? End stops are best. I hate this. You can't post links in chat, but you can post them in the Discord. Let me see. I should have this size somewhere. I know I've purchased them, but where in the world would I put them? Oh, this is gonna be fun. Let me just make sure, because, 1 second here. I grab one of these standard size JSTs. Maybe I don't have 1.5s. I don't think I do. I don't. Sucks. Oh. That's a bummer. I have 2.0s as the smallest. I gotta order 1.5s then. Unless... unless I've just got them from a kit. I'm trying to think of like what other kits would have come... Wait. No, these are also too big. These are PHs. Yeah, this is the type of connector where I'd prefer to solder than actually crimp it. I'm wondering if I have one of the... I have the old Cyclops kit. There might be some spare wires in it. Yeah, I have the old Cyclops kit right here. But I don't see... This is not related to that. This is from other stuff. I don't see any wires. I'm thinking that maybe one of the Big Tree Tech kits that I got at one point might have them. Here, this is just a random box of like PCBs and stuff. Let's see. This looks like it has some really small stuff in it. This looks like it could be it. Now the question is, will I be able to solder this? If not, my next thing will probably be just seeing if I can buy one that's pre-done, but this looks like the right size. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I do have the right size from whatever this kit was. Now the question is, will I be able to actually crimp these on? These are disgustingly small. Try on one and see how it goes. We'll strip a little bit of wire. Yeah, it's probably plenty. These are so freaking small. Okay. And then we'll probably need to use these guys. I don't think my ratcheting ones are going to be sufficient for this. And then maybe probably 1.0 on this. Maybe 1.4 for the sleeve. Dude, these are brutal. They're smaller than I realized, like even... Has anyone crimped these? JST ZH 1.5, I'm fairly certain Amazon sells packs of 50. Your crimper may not go down to ZH size. Yeah, the smallest size I've got is 1.0, which I'm not even sure if this is the right size. I know that some people were saying that with the older Big Tree Tech, board, okay, I got it in. Let's see if this crimps. I don't know if it will. This is nuts. Let's see. I don't think this is fitting in. It almost seems like the... No, that didn't go. It almost seems like the sleeve is going to be my biggest issue. I'm gonna try one more time. I'm going to strip off a little bit more to see if I can really shove the wire into there. But what I might end up trying to do is just seeing if I can find a 4-wire that's already got wire. I think that someone told me you can get these tiny ones with wire already pre-crimped. I would have a much easier time just soldering these together than trying to crimp these with how small they are. This is why Big Tree Tech abandoned the old. Yeah, I know. They sent me one. I think that's what these are actually from. They sent me one of those early boards, and they sent me the revised version because I remember people saying like, "Oh, good luck crimping those," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll probably be okay." Then I saw what I was dealing with, and I was like, "Oh my god, I probably won't be okay." Okay, I feel like I've got this seated really nicely. So let's see if I shove this in all the way. I'm just like, how am I even gonna get the sleeve? Oh, maybe. I did get it on. But the issue is with the size of this sleeve, I'm not convinced I'm going to be able to get it to crimp onto the sleeve. Yeah, I mean, I crimped it. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to attempt to crimp these, okay? If one pops off, we're just gonna call it. But I'm gonna attempt to crimp these and see if we can get it to go. If not, then the next step is I'm just gonna try to find ones that are already pre-crimped that I can just solder. But let's just give this a go. That's what we've got in front of us today. So we're gonna try it. But yeah, these are small. I wouldn't wish on my enemy, which I don't really have enemies, but I wouldn't wish on my enemy if I had a big enemy. I can't think of any. Maybe like a middle school bully or something like that. To have to crimp these. I should sell them for $5 a wire. Vitritech come with pre-crimped leads in the box. SB2209, they come with pre-crimped. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I assume someone has to sell them out there. I just can't imagine, like, people use these for projects, and I can't imagine. I would assume most of these crimps are being done by machines, not humans. But yeah, just for, even if I do get this working right now, I still think I'm going to end up sourcing, because I don't think I would feel good about sending this to you, Peter. It's just brutal. Also, giveaway links open. 3 more minutes. Yeah, I'm really wondering after seeing this whether this was your issue more than anything else. Was just that your wires were damaged. Okay, this one's lined up. I can't even get this wire to feed through. Try this one. This is nuts. Okay, well, I got 2 of them seeming to stay on. So we'll carry on. 2 down, 2 to go. Aren't there pre-crimped genuine leads on DigiKey and the likes? I would assume so. I've never looked, but I would assume so. I feel like I had a conversation with Steve at one point, and we were talking about the big Vitritech board, I think. And I believe he said that you can get them pre-crimped. I could be, it might have been someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was a Steve conversation. Okay, I got this one lined up somewhat decently. Let's try yellow. This is madness. I'm definitely not getting, the second crimp is not getting onto the sleeve, which sucks. It's just kind of crimping somewhere between the sleeve and the wire. Okay. All right, so 3 down. Screen guy to go. I'm gonna cut off. No, let's just leave it. Let's try it. Dude, it's so hard to get this on the teeth. I'm like using the very tip of my fingers and then kind of like fishing it. It's so difficult. Oh, okay. Got it into the slot. Okay. Okay. No. Okay, so this one's definitely frayed a little. I gotta... Alright, please don't pop out. It's kind of sitting where it needs to be. I'm gonna cut a tiny bit off the green guy. The green's just a little frayed at the end, and it's not helping me at all. There we go. Okay, try it again. There we go. Come on, baby. Come on, all your other wires went in. I don't think that, no, that one sucked. Okay, try it again. Green's gonna be, it's always the last one with all these things. Hey, Viking! It would just be nice to see this thing working. That's really all I'm going for now. If I see it working, then I know, sweet, I just got to get these wires situated. Okay. Try it again. Push, push in, push. I think it's the same. No, it's, dude, this green one's not going. We're gonna do the giveaway as soon as I either get this green one or decide I've done my best. Okay. All right. Come on, baby. Okay, that feels like it's in. Okay. But now I'm like, did I damage the... Okay, well, let's just... All right, let's just see. Let's see if I can get the plug on. If you haven't entered in the giveaway, do so now. We're going to... So when I went to unplug the connector, I saw that, like, 2 of the pins popped out. And then when I looked a little bit further, I saw the green was only hanging on by like a thread or 2. So I think that I'm now more convinced that the issue probably stemmed from the connector on this. So we need red on the far right, red, yellow, green, blue. Red. Dude. There we go. I don't think it's gonna work. It looks like when I crimped it, I said red, yellow, green, blue. It is like surgery. No, it looks like when I crimped it, it like slightly smashed the pin. I don't trust it. With the way that the ends are on these, it feels like they might make contact with each other, and I don't want to short something out. It's not worth it. So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna close the giveaway in 60 seconds. I'm gonna see if I can find these just on Amazon or something like that. And we think they're called what? They're called, I'm in the middle of printing. What did I miss? 1 second. I'm in the middle of printing parts for a dragon burner. Nice. To mount the Phaetus Apis 2. I wanted a factory tour. Nice. Is there an official mount for it? They added it? That's really cool. Hey, Adam. So we think they're, let's see, Amazon. See if I can get them here quickly. PH 1.5. Pre-crimped. This looks like the way. Pre-crimped. Or at least, they're pre-crimped, so you just basically shove them in the plug. I'm probably just going to order a set of these. This one has better reviews. ZH 1.5s. 25 of them. Yeah, I'm gonna order this. Right after the stream, I'm gonna order this. So we'll... man, part of me wants to do a part 2 to this to finish this up, but part of me is like, just get it done off stream. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. You planning on installing the A4T toolhead? What toolhead is that? Is that the new one from the guys that make the... Oh gosh, I can't think of what it's called right now. I use your affiliate link to buy voxel PTG. They're good. Awesome. Thanks, Rudy. Yeah, I use a lot of their filament. I mean, I use a ton of Polymaker filament as well, but for standard PLA and PTG, like I've used a ton of it for projects and it's worked out really well. What was I gonna say here? Okay, we're gonna do a vote. We're gonna do a vote. So let's see. If I order CH connectors, do we want to finish this on stream next week? And we'll just do a yes. Let's do it. And no, finish it off. And let's move on. Okay, I got a poll in chat. I'm also removing the giveaway link, so if anyone's filling it out, you've got a couple 60 seconds here. Unpin message. Yeah, I'll end up ordering these ZHs and then soldering. So if we are going to do it on next week's stream, what I'd likely end up doing is I'll already have it soldered and with the correct plug-in, and we would just continue from there. And then we could potentially play around with the other one to see if we can get the second one working. That's probably what we'd end up doing. It's a pretty close vote. 59% right now, 64%, 62%. What if we don't have a preference? You don't have to vote then. If you don't have a preference, you don't have to vote. Okay, so it's like the new toolhead from the creators of Zol, right? I don't know. I don't have any plans of installing it right now. Doesn't mean I won't, but I don't have a printer or a project for it to go on at this point. That's really the reason why. Get me on Discord like too. So is this not the Orbiter 2.0 upgrade on this one? Is mine the... So this is... Okay, let me show you what I've got in mine. So this is... I mean, this is Peter's... this is Peter's part that has, you know, this. But as far as the gearing I had on mine, they are... Where are you? They're these ones. So they're coated gears with the brass insert. I don't know what the difference is with the 2.0 versus what this has, but I ran these without issues. I am doing, yes, Box Turtle is 100% happening. Jason already said it's on its way, so I just need to print out the parts. I'm actually waiting. I'm going to be doing the parts in LDO ABS, so I'm waiting on the LDO ABS to show up, and then, yeah, we'll absolutely be doing a Box Turtle. That is going to be happening. Yeah, the micro connector is awful. So, okay, it looks like we'll probably do it next week. It's kind of a nice break from a full printer build, and then we'll probably right after that jump into Box Turtle then. That'll give me time. Well, we'll see when the LDO ABS shows up. That's really the biggest thing holding me back from being able to start printing out parts. Those are the nicer gears, but there's an upgrade shaft that is out now too. Those are 2.0 gears. Okay, yeah, I mean, if you want to send something out, I almost feel like if you're going to send it out, then I should put that shaft into Peter's then. We'll see, because if this is working fine, then I want to send this to Peter, because this is the setup I've been running, and it's been working well for me for months now. But yeah, I can message you, because if there's something that you can get out that'll be here by next Wednesday, if we're going to rebuild mine, or even if we don't rebuild mine on, I don't know. Yeah, I can... Did Jason send you the special Box Turtle ABS colors? No. Actually, you know what? The ABS is coming from... I think the ABS is actually coming from Fabrico, not coming from LDO. So I chose, it's a black frame box turtle with gray as the primary, and then I think it's like their blue, off blue for the accent colors, which I think will look really clean. It's a really nice color. Okay, let's do this giveaway, everyone. I know everyone's waiting patiently, and I am squirreling. Nice, 102 entries. Let me download these really quick here, make sure I'm not sharing anyone's info. Did we hit 100 likes? 140, oh no, I saw 142 likes. 83 likes. If you have not smacked the like button, let's get to 100. It's tripping out. I was like, there's no way. I haven't even mentioned once to like. Okay. Give me 1 second here. I have to download the entries and then re-upload it. Okay. 102 people. That should be everybody. Bam. All right. Ooh, 98 likes. We're so close. I know we'll reach it. Thank you, everybody that smacked the like button. I appreciate it. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. I heart my box turtle. Yeah, the biggest thing I'm gonna have to do is figure out. I'm probably gonna have to install the nip Filatrix or whatever it's called, the cutting tool head on the 2.4. But before we do that, I want to build box turtle because I'm curious to see if I can get box turtle to work with the Qt Plus 4. Because the Qt Plus 4 already has, I know that I probably can't get it to talk to their buffer system, but it already has a cutter built into it. So it'd be kind of cool to just be able to throw it on that and use it with that, because the 2.4, I'm not for certain, but I'm debating on turning that into a stealth or tap changer at some point. So I don't know if that's what I want to modify the toolhead on. All right, so I need a sip of water. I've been talking a lot. Filometrics or Filomatrix? Oh, I like matrix. Box turtle has a cutter mod for the stealth burner now. Yeah, I had seen someone mention that to me. There are users running box turtle on Qt. Okay, sick. That is awesome. All right, everybody. So, for anyone that is new or hasn't been here before in one of these streams, Polymaker allows us to give away a spool of filament every single week globally, which is incredible. If you're in the US or Canada and you win, you'll get a gift card. And if you're anywhere else, you'll get to choose between a really large list of PLA, PLA, ABS, ASA, and PETG. And you'll receive an email from me within 24 hours, whoever wins. It'll have the form you have to fill out, as well as a unique ID or unique code that you'll enter into that form. Yeah, so massive thank you to Polymaker for letting us do this. They are just an all-around awesome company, and if you do want to support the channel and you do need Polymaker filament, there is a link in the description. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help out, and people have been using it. So if you're just needing to get refills on filament and you remember, it is never required but always appreciated. And on that note, let's do this. How many times do I want to shuffle? I don't know. How many times are we shuffling today, everybody? Tony Kyle says he thought he got into the drawing. Tony Kyle, you're here. Tony Kyle 2655. It looks like the name went into the wrong slot, but it should be fine. We'll do 4 because we're having 4 problems and they're all wires. We're having 4 wires and those are our problems. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, everyone. Good luck. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Looks like Mike? Is it Mike or Mickey? I don't know how you say that. I'm gonna go with Mike. I don't know. That's a tough one. Either way, I won't butcher. Sorry, I won't butcher your name anymore. Air horn. Congratulations. I think you're a first-time winner. I will send you an email probably this evening, but if not, by tomorrow. And yeah, depending on where you're at, you will get either a gift card or a spool of filament. But regardless, you will be getting something awesome from Polymaker. So thank you to Polymaker again, and thank you everyone that entered in. And yeah, honestly, I think we're probably going to call it. I don't know. There's really not much more to do. Peter, if you're still in chat, I'm sorry that it's not up and printing, but we're getting closer, which is good. And I am going to get those wires ordered right after the stream. I should probably just have some on hand regardless for future shenanigans. But yeah, it seems like the game plan is we'll get this wrapped up next week on stream. So I will get the wires in. I will solder them between now and next week's stream, make sure the plug's on, and we'll basically just pick up and print and hope that everything is working. And yeah, and then also reach out to, gosh, names, I'm so bad at names. I know your username was Pink. SB, Tunes is easy to remember. SB, I'll also reach out to you in case you do want to get the shaft sent out for, if we have time next week, which I think we will, as long as this is working, we're just basically going to print, and then maybe while it's printing off to the side, we can get the other one assembled. And then, yeah, I might give, if we do that, I might just give you the choice then, Peter, of which one you want to send back if we get both working. We can cross that bridge next week, though, but I'll reach out to you, SB. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We made a lot of progress. It's always, streams can never just go, like, we can't start a stream and get to the end of it and being like, yeah, everything just went flawlessly. And if we do, I need everyone to remind me of those streams when we hit the other streams where we're just like, oh, it's such an uphill battle, what's going on? But in this case, I feel like we did everything correctly that we could. And I'm saying it again, I do not believe that I damaged those wires. I basically set it in place and loosely with my finger just plugged it in. So I have a feeling that those wires were already kind of on their last leg, and I don't know if it just happened during the printing process while Peter had it, whether it was like that when he got it, it doesn't really matter. But I feel like, I'm gonna jinx myself. I feel confident that once I get these wires reinstalled with the new pins and the new plug, that we're gonna be looking pretty good. So yes. All right, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful week, and I will catch you all next Wednesday. There will be a video this week on the main channel, and I'm working on a video for next week, so there should definitely be videos for the next 2 weeks. And then what's coming after that is a bit of a juggle at this point because I'm working on quite a few projects. But cheers to everybody. You like the din, they're so thin, they break easily. Yeah, I mean, the good news is like, once we get them installed, like, you should never have to touch them. Like, you really shouldn't have to touch them. So, and the fact that this kit comes with so many options, it lets me screw up a few of them and still have